Hello, everybody. Welcome along and welcome back to live streams. Feels like I can't quite remember how to do this, but we are back. You didn't do the Euros, did you, Ben? But I haven't done one of these since the Euros. And this is the much requested, dearly departed League One version. We trialed this towards the end of last season. We had Ben on doing, look, I'm going to call him Nappers so there's not two Ben, so you know how to address us by. We did the playoffs. People seem to enjoy it. And here we are back now. And you can see up the top there, our 5 League One dearly departed teams. We are going to be looking at Wycombe, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, Wigan, Charlton. If you want to hear me talk about Ipswich, go to the Blue Monday podcast. If you want to hear about the other 19 teams, Ben has got that covered. Nappers, how you doing? Welcome to the new season.
I'm doing well, mate. It feels weird being on a stream again, I must admit. But it feels nice being on a stream again, thinking Saturday, I'm not doing a watch-along. I'm going to the ground and watching us, so I'll be stressed at the ground. Ripping the hair I've got left on my head. When Fleetwood was, a couple of goals down by half time. But no, I'm great to be back, and I can't wait. And thank you for having me on. It was great to talk about the playoffs towards the end of last season, but the real stuff's back. We've got 5 great clubs to talk about, and it's going to be a great season, I feel.
So, yeah, Ben's said it very well. The Dearly Departed show started with the teams that got promoted out of the Championship into the Premier League. I know there's an argument we could have Bolton in here and we could have Ipswich in here. I've told you why for Ipswich, and look, we just went with the nearest 5 teams, basically, because it's not quite like the Championships of the Premier League where they tend to not stay there very long, put it that way. So, look, before we go any further, Ben, let's just try and do a bit of a Championship League One link-up. And can you just talk to me about Russ Martin going into Swansea and making the jump on the eve of the season? Where does that leave MK Dons?
It leaves them in a very difficult situation. But I remember I think it was 2016, Fleetwood got rid of Presley and we brought in Uwe Rosler 5 days in before the start of the season. Now, Uwe had a past history of getting, Wigan into the playoffs in the Championship. And that season, we had one of our most successful seasons in the Football League. So it could work out that way for Swansea. But you look at the job he's done with MK Dons. He came into a difficult situation after Tisdale left. I think he got sacked, actually, Tisdale, after losing 1-0 to Fleetwood. And he came in within a side that only had 1 striker at the time. But he got them over to January. He got them ticking along, got them that points per game up, which obviously you're a big fan of and you use quite a lot. And he just kind of got them to the end of the year. And then it was kind of this, right, that's sorted. It's a 3-year process now. And it always was the year 1 was, let's see where we finish. Let's see how many goals we can score. Let's see how we play. And we played this passing football, playing out from the back. Let's try and see if we can draw teams on, because in League One, teams lose their concentration span. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to come and press. And then there's gaps to exploit. And when you've got players like Scott Fraser in your team, Cameron Jerome was one of the best finishers in League One last season, they are going to hurt teams. And they did do that. But also, they were very effective with the set pieces and long balls as well. So then it was going to year 2, and it's what they did very well, MK Dons. They replaced what they'd lost. Fraser went out, Scott Twine came in. Jerome went out, Max Waters came in. I think he scored 12 in 14 for Crawley, which is unbelievable. Then they lost Jerome in January, but they brought in, I think, Alec Baldwin, and they brought in
Mo Isa.
Yeah, I's a very good play for Peterborough. They also, obviously, Scott Twine, we've mentioned, but they also brought in Ethan Robson, who's a very tiny signing, very underrated signing, in my opinion, from Blackpool on loan. And it always felt like teams are just starting to take notice of MK Dons now, and it leaves them in a difficult situation. But Russell Martin is a very well-organised coach, and Swansea go for these kind of younger managers, gives them the experience.
Yes, they do.
Cooper, how he, Potter. See, those two will go on to have great careers, and they've done well with the club. So I think Russell Martin will go to a trend, and I think if he gets the right back and he can see what he could do, but he did a very good job with MK Dons, and he made them believe again. And I believe MK Dons will be fine, but I don't believe they'll get into the playoffs this year now.
Great stuff. Right. Let's move on to our Fab Five. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have a little chat about each of them and what the expectations are. We can go to questions very quickly. Now, you must not click off this video. Quick plug, because Nappers has just put out his 1 to 24. He's told me what his top 6 is, and I will reveal nothing because you've got to go and watch and go and comment. So maybe after we're live, do head over there, but we'll do some proper plugs on all of that. Let's read a few comments out before we go. Bolton, dark horses. Bit offended Swansea didn't chase Appleton. Yeah, I think he would have been on the list. West Brom were certainly in for there. Alex feels the Wednesday squad is better than last year. I think, well, look, Nappers is going to talk about that in a minute. Right, Wycombe first. Now, look, guys, this is more for our sake looking on the screen. There's going to be a lot of information going to jump up. I'm going to apologise because everyone complains that it's too small, but it is what it is. So, Ben, Wycombe last year started absolutely terribly in the Championship and finished third from bottom in the end after a brilliant run. You can see there on the screen, goals there, a massive issue, only 39 in 46 games. Tells its own story, 25 defeats. Majority of them in the first half of the season. I think without patronising Wycombe, most people thought, look, that's going to be a hard ask in the Championship, especially with empty stadiums. The ins and the outs there, you can see Scowen, Kai, I think you'll be interested in, Nappers. Wakely, Prisbeck, Sam Vokes is an interesting one. Ikpeazu out is the big loss there. Charles, Phillips, Patterson. Also, Onyedinma Dinma out to Luton as well. Anderson, Allsop, and Yates. How do a team that got promoted surprisingly, started really badly, finished really well, but then, there's a few lone players who aren't there this season as well. Talk to me about Wycombe, and guys in the comments, get your comments in on Wycombe Wanderers, who heroically got out in the playoffs last time they were in League One.
Keep Gareth Ainsworth. It's as simple as that. And I watched Fleetwood's documentary that's about to come out last week, and I saw. It was the first time, I'll be honest, that I've watched any playoff content from Fleetwood or any highlights, because it scares me to death still to this day what happened. And what he said about Wycombe was very patronising. And when you hear Gareth Ainsworth, the way he talks in interviews, the bloke who's I think, remember, they were 2-0 up against Swansea away and they conceded 2 very late goals. That would keep them up. And a lot of managers with 2 games to go, needing 6 points and like a 15-goal swing, would kind of be like, oh, there'd be a few kind of jibing that, but he went, oh, I'm so proud of my players. And all it was praise. And as players, you want to play for that. You really do. You'd run through brick walls, and he's brought in some very good players. Josh Scowen, again, did very well at Sunderland. Sonny Kaikai is a very good signing in more than one ways, because he was very good with Blackpool, very good especially in the second half of last year, made a huge influence to them getting into the playoffs. Remember his wonderful goal at Sunderland away, I think that one goal of the season for them. But he's closer to home as well, which I don't think a lot of people see as a positive. When players are happier when they're closer to home. And also, again, under a good manager. He's kept Joe Jacobs in. They have lost Uche Ikpeazu, like you mentioned, and Fred Onyedinma to Luton and I think Middlesbrough, respectively. But they've kept well. They've added to what they've done, and they've replaced. So Vokes for Ikpeazu, like Scowen for Onyedinma. So I like that. And I reckon Wycombe will go again. The owners are suddenly taking note that they can back Ainsworth. They've got that, like you said, that TV money now, haven't they? So I think Wycombe will be up there. I think they'll surprise a few. I think it won't be many goals, but I think it'll be kind of, 1-0s and 2-1s, but they'll grind it. They'll grind enough out.
And that was a criticism as well, wasn't it? That they went up literally with an aging team. So it's almost like the transition occurs the other end. Normally you go up after the transition, don't you? I just wanted to read that one out from Ben because I know he's a Wycombe fan. I think we're stronger than last season. Vokes, I'd argue, is better than Ikpeazu. Scowen, stronger than Offerborth and Adinarin. Where's Adinarin gone? He's gone somewhere, hasn't he? I can't remember exactly where. Jake says, like Wycombe, can see him getting into the playoffs again. Love Ainsworth due to his Lincoln connections. Love Kai and Vokes should be right up there. Wycombe have got to take the positive momentum form towards the end of last season. Agree with that. Bringing in Vokes was required to replace Ikpeazu. Now, remember, don't ask nappers for league positions. You need to go after the show and watch his 1 to 24. Let's move on. And one of the main reasons we're doing this show, let's be honest, is Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it? We got asked so many times. It's another whopping great big club in League One, the place big clubs go to die, as I know myself as an Ipswich Town fan. Look, absolute chaos, carnage at Wednesday last season, 12-point deduction, down to a 6-point deduction. Gary Monk to Tony Pulis to Neil Thompson. In the end, to Darren Moore. Could have stayed up on the last day. I don't buy when I hear people say, 6-point deduction got them down. That's very, very basic. It was a last game shootout against Derby. When you get to that point, win this game and you stay up, the 6 points are irrelevant by then, but I know what you mean. Let's have a look, Nappers, at Wednesday. So ended up finishing bottom. Remember that ridiculous last day where everyone swapped positions within about the last 25 minutes and the music stopped and Wednesday were bottom. Barry Bannon is still there. I made this slide this morning when Adam Reach was still there, but he's now transferred off to West Brom. By the way, get your thoughts in on Wednesday in the comments. Now, the departures are many there, and I'm going to have to lean right into even read that. Shaw, Ergahid, Van Aken, Penny, Lees, Odebajo, Pelopessi, Rhodes. It's about another 10 there. Sorry, I made it so small you can't read it. Income, and I know you're quite high on this, Nappers. Brown, Hunt. Oh, there's Adinarin. There you go. Peacock Farrell, was it Burnley in the Premier League, wasn't he? Shadipo, who we've seen in this league before. Lewis Wing, who did bits for Rotherham, and Warnock says he wants to keep. An interesting one there. Florian Camberi, Theo Corbiano. Those are the ins for Sheffield Wednesday. Darren Moore knows this division, doesn't he, from Doncaster. Still under a soft transfer embargo. I don't believe they can pay fees. And look, let's just say Chansiri is still there, so anything can happen in terms of the ownership. What are you saying on Sheffield Wednesday, Nappers?
The business has been very good. I think they've bought very well for the league. They've looked at it and thought what we need and what the league needs and what it takes to get out of League One. I think where Sunderland have failed in the past, they tried to get Championship players. Look what Salford do. They'll go and buy Championship standards for League Two when League Two is a very different league to the Championship, you know. But Lewis Wing is, in my opinion, a standout side, and he was fantastic for Rotherham. He scored a couple of goals towards the back end of last season that kept them in it. I think Peacock Farrell, very good goalkeeper. We've seen it, be at Leeds, then go to Burnley. And I think he conceded 5 to Leeds a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, as well in the Premier League, which isn't great, but in League One, very good signing. Shadupo, so I think scored 10 last year. Fast, bright, good in an attacking side, will create, chances for a good Wednesday side. And then they've kept the likes of Iorfa, Patterson, those types of players as well. Barry Bannon is class and loves the club, and the fans love him as well. So I think the business has been good. They've kept the players that they needed to, and they've let go maybe players that were just on a wage that didn't want to be there. So if they can get the fans on side, get the fans behind them, I think they'll be more than just fine.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at some comments here. Alex, it's been our most positive pre-season for about 3 years. very optimistic for a change. Johnson, Byers, Sims linked as well. So it doesn't look like the end of the dealings. I think they need to stick with Darren Moore. Can't keep sacking. Well, that was chaos. So I know there's the Watford example where they got promoted with 4, didn't they? But that is the outlier, I think, isn't it? Jake, think Wednesday are the most difficult of the 3 coming down to place. They need a bit of stability as a club. You're telling me, God. Gather momentum and go again. Moore, a good gaffer at this level. Iorfa is a beast, isn't he? Wednesday have strengthened brilliantly. Hunt and Aaron have played in the Championship. We wondered, Nappers, whether Darren Moore was brought in as a League One manager already in the Championship. Do you think that was the ploy? And if he kept them up, then so be it.
I think so. I think you've got a plan for not just 6 months ahead, not just 3 months in front, but for 3 years, really, where you want your football club to be. And all successful teams, obviously, you in your prediction, you did kind of, 2 years in charge. And that, is a good foundation. You look at Blackpool, you got Critchley in his kind of, third season, but second full season now. And how well he's done. And kind of,
I think, Nappers, I think it takes 18 months, unless you're Bielsa. Yeah. Takes 18 months to get your pattern of play properly sorted. That's always my rationale on that.
I agree. And Fleetwood with Joey Barton, it took around about 18 months, and we went on a 12-game unbeaten run, and a COVID break happens, and the season gets suspended. So I do agree with that. But in another way, I believe that kind of Darren Moore, very good manager. You saw what he did with Doncaster, got very close, and I think losing Ben Whiteman killed Doncaster. I think he thought after that, I need to go to a big club now where I can have my better players. That players will be attracted to join this football club in what I can do. And if we do go down, so be it. We'll go back up the year after.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Yorkshire again, and a very familiar club to first and second place in League One is Rotherham. Towards the end of the season, it was a little bit like, is Paul Vaughan really going to go again? And there was this long kind of, I'm going to go away and think about it type thing. But he is back, and Rotherham are back. And let's be honest, they normally boss this league, don't they, Rotherham? There they are, relegated on 42 points. I always say 45 to survive. I dare say, looking at that table, that would have been right. Rotherham lost Clark Robertson, Sean McDonald, Ola Sunday out to Preston as well. Matt Crooks, the big one. Only Shane Ferguson and Josh Chapman in. Look, you wouldn't back against that club and that manager. Can they do it again? It would be the 3rd time if he takes them up, wouldn't it, for Paul Vaughan? That's unprecedented. But it's a hard call. But if anyone can, Rotherham can, right?
Absolutely. But they've got to go through the heartbreak and the tension of the playoffs normally, don't they? So, no, I reckon they can. I reckon they'll be there or thereabouts. I don't think it'll be automatic. I don't think they've got the depth at the moment. I do believe if they get a couple of injuries, that's where they'll struggle. But when they've got the squad and they're not playing Saturday, Tuesday, they'll be fine. But I think they'll be stretched at this moment, Saturday, Tuesday. I think what people got to remember in League One, you've got 5 loans to use, and they mainly kind of, a lot of the better teams wait because they've got the resources there already, wait, kind of, and then see, right, this is when we need to go out, we'll go and get him on loan. Because a lot of the Premier League teams, you've got to remember as well, haven't submitted the squads yet, they haven't started their season yet, and the players that they don't want. The League One team, I think Joey Barton used the term last year, going through the bins of these Championship and Premier League teams. He goes, the luxury, the kind of very good bins, but you've got to go through the bins to get the gems out. And I think that's what Paul Vaughan will be looking at. And that's what, their seasons have been kind of dependent on these loan players and the more experienced players in the past. When you look at, I think it's Wood at the back as well, been a stalwart for them the last few years.
Yeah. I must admit, they do strike, if I do put my Ipswich hat on, they do strike fear into me, just in terms of knowing how to get the job done. And who was it who said it? Rotherham are the Norwich of League One. I know exactly what Iain means there in terms of that experience counts for a lot, doesn't it, surely?
Yeah, absolutely. And, they know they can do it. And I reckon if Rotherham lost 3 out of the first 5 games, I think Paul Warren will be like, it's fine. We've got 40 games to go. Look at Blackpool first. 9 games last year. They won, I think, 2. 1 in the first 7. And they ended up winning 23 out of the last 35 games. So I think they'll be fine. I think they'll go on a good run. I think they'll be fine. And Paul Warren's a very good manager, and I think we talked about Ainsworth. He's a very steady manager. You know what you're going to get. Very calm, very composed, and like I say, experience of. He's had the down when he first came in at Rotherham. They were a mess. They were a dog's dinner, weren't they? And they couldn't score. I think they got about 20 odd points. They weren't winning. They were getting hammered every week. He's got them into a competitive side now, and in the Championship they're competitive. In League One, where teams aren't quite as clinical and they're not quite as good defensively, they'll be able to pick players off. They've got Lepardo still as well, haven't they? Who's very good at this level. He scored, 15, 20 goals at this level for Rotherham and Plymouth. So if he can get up and firing, they've got a player.
Absolutely. Nat asks, will I be doing a League One prediction? I will not. So I'll again plug my friend Nappers and head over to his 1 to 24. I just feel, given the amount of time and effort I put into the Championship one, if I can't do as good a job on League One, which I'll be quite transparent about, I can't, then I'll leave it to the people who know a bit more than me. So, no, sadly, I won't do the predictions because I will fall flat on my face. Rotherham playoff winners, can see Town going up the season. Sunderland, I'm not sure. Yeah, a few comments about Pompey starting to come in as well. Come on, Charlton. Well, we get to Charlton in just a second. Let me just say, please hit the like button, whichever platform you're watching on. We're live on Facebook, on Twitter, and obviously here on YouTube, where the majority of people are watching. Helps drive people to our stream. And of course, go and follow both of us on Twitter for our inane and irritating ramblings all of the time. And if you want to support, you can support both of us. We do split anything we make on these videos, although Ben's still asking for his check off me. It's got lost in the mail. You need to hit that dollar button in the live chat. Super chats will be read out. Great way to send a tip if you are enjoying the show. Right, let's get back to it. We're going to talk about Wigan, who have all of a sudden gone from everybody feeling sorry for them after the admin, and were they going to go coast to coast and, right the way down through 2 leagues? Bit of a great escape in the end with Liam Richardson at the end of last season. And I have to say, much to my annoyance, Liam Richardson then takes the job and doesn't come and work with Paul Cook at Ipswich. But good luck to him. He's backed himself and he surely deserves it. If we have a look at that table, look at that. Escaped by 1 point. Yes, they only took 1 point from the last 3, so they were a little bit clearer. But now all of a sudden, Max Power, Watmore, Edwards, Naylor, Cousins, Amos, Humphreys, and the top scorer in the division last season, Charlie Wyke. They're annoying everybody with these transfers, aren't they? Along with my lot. What's your take on Wigan then, Ben? It's going to be probably a different expectation this season for sure.
Good teams in transfer windows annoy others and make others feel jealous. And that's what Wigan, and I think you're a little bit guilty, Ipswich. I think.
Oh.
But I've used it.
Hands up.
I compare Wigan to Ipswich. I think Wigan have gone out and bought stars, and Ipswich have gone out and bought gems. And the difference is, I think Wigan are basically playing League One fantasy football, in my opinion. They've gone out and said, well, he scores goals, he does this, he does that, and hope it works. Wigan will do okay next season. They'll be more than fine. I think they will be there or thereabouts. And I know that's the most common saying in football. But Charlie Wright did score 31 goals last year, but needs good service, needs balls into the box, needs to get players around him to be successful, like he did at Sunderland. And if he does, and he gets those little flick-ons, he will score goals. Cousins, again, can be dangerous, can get his heels on the line and get balls into the box for him. I think Powell's a very smart signing. He's been there and enjoyed his football there before. I think Naylor also the sign and Watmore have also worked with him at Portsmouth when he was assistant to Cook. So that again, good business. So I do like what they've done so far. They've brought in a few decent little players in overall, but I believe that it's going to be. I think it'd be quite a bit of a slow start for them. I think, they're going to need time to gel. And maybe if it doesn't start to gel, maybe the fans will get on his back. He's a young manager, just signed a 3-year deal. And he's gone from having zero expectation to the expectations now up to here because he's got the resources. And if he doesn't deliver, I think he could be in trouble. It reminds me a bit of Frank Lampard at Chelsea. First season, he's working with the kids, and it's kind of like hit or miss. Gets top 4 because the players are working with him because of all the kids at Chelsea. Frank Lampard was there, idle growing up, and again the second season when the stars come in, that's when he struggles. So let's see how he does. But I don't feel as positive about Wigan as I do about the other 3 clubs that we've talked about so far. But they have got a good squad. They've got a good core, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did get into the top 6.
Few people agree with you in the chat as well there. Wigan top 2 says Harry, Benjamin, Wigan to finish playoffs. Before last season, Wigan keeps going up and down. What's going on? Yeah, owners relegate clubs, I think we will say there for sure. Right, we're on to Charlton now, and then we'll go to questions. Again, obviously we have to protect our interests here on YouTube, so do not ask nappers for league positions because you have to go and watch his 1 to 24. But we can do questions in a bit after we've spoken about Nigel Adkins and Charlton Athletic, another ex-Premier League team down in League. How many have we got this season, Ben? You worked out, didn't you?
I think it's 8, including Wimbledon.
Because I think we're up to 50 now. I think Brentford 50, are the 50th Premier League team. Wow, and 8 in League One. And you're counting Wimbledon, are you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Annoyed a few.
Yeah, right. So look, Charlton missed out on the playoffs on the last day of last season on goal difference. Obviously 7 in it in the end, but you know what it's like on those last days. A goal can swing it all over the place. Income, I can't read that. McGoldrick from Pompey. I've made it too small, haven't I? Dobson for Mayhew, Stockley and Clare there from Oxford. Out go Shinny, Amos and Nike up to Birmingham. Oshilaja, Pratley's been around forever, hasn't he? Otzuma and Mattheson. What are your thoughts on Charlton then? Essentially 1 point off the playoffs last time. Are they looking in better or worse nick? And how does that line up with the fact it feels like the division has improved a little bit?
I think Charlton were in a transition period last year when Atkins first came in, and it felt like, right, we need to get to the end of the year, get into the playoffs and great, and let's strengthen. I think it would have been a year too soon if they would have gone up. So I think it's within their best interest that they didn't get into the playoffs. But again, Atkins is a positive manager. I think they'll be the club that's forgot about that last year. I know there'll be a few sore heads, but I think he's such a positive. You see his videos on Twitter, we start again, we go again, and he's
fantastic on Twitter, isn't he?
Absolutely. And in my predictions, I've got it in front of me now. I just wrote Charlton, Atkins, positive mindset, positive this, go again, and that's what you want. And in a 46 grueling season, they're going to have knockbacks, they're going to have good times, but Atkins is the perfect man. And you've seen what he's done. He's done a good job over the years with, Southampton and Hull City. When you can kind of see where those clubs have gone on since he left the club. I believe they'll be there or there. I know I've said about every club, but they will be there or thereabouts. The business so far, he's kind of been small, but he's been one of the best in the league. I think it rivals Ipswich's. They've just not done enough of it. Claire's a very good player, needs experience. Femelo's done very well, and I think that's a loan to buy, which is very good business.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, Stockley was on loan last year and scored a lot of goals, on loan from Preston. And, was a handful. You can get the ball to him. He can, hold the ball up and you get runners into him. And then, McGoldrick won Portsmouth Player of the Year last year. I think that I found a funny start. The last 3 winners of the Portsmouth Player of the Year have all left the club that summer. And, McGoldrick was that player. And a fantastic goalkeeper. And I rate and Dobson's a smart signing as well. He's a League One steady player. You're not going to get 9 out of 10 from him, but you will get, your 7s or your 8s. He was excellent at Walsall. He scored an outstanding goal against Northampton about 3 or 4 years ago to keep him in the division. I remember the Bank Stadium. But again, steady business, good manager. And again, you've got good ownership now. The fans are back on board. It can be a rocket, the Valley. And like I said, I think they missed their home fans last year. It's going to be a tough place to go because they started off, I think they won 7 games in a row at the Valley. Then they lost 7 games in a row at the Valley, which was unbelievable, really.
I want to read this one out. I'll probably butcher this person's name. Oisin? I don't know whether that's a Gaelic name or something that I'm going to make a mess of. I love that analogy. This league is like the 14-15 championship season. The season he's referring to, Wolves didn't get in the playoffs with 78 points. 78. And we had Swansea in with 70 a couple of seasons ago. So I agree with that. Right. Let's do a little bit of a straw poll. So hold your comments and we'll try and get this going in the comments now. We're going to go through each of the clubs. Okay, so no one comment anything for about the next 10 seconds. And what I want is a league position, just one number, and then we'll reset for each club. So if you can indulge me in the comments, I'll do a plug while you're doing it. League position for Wycombe, please. Predicted league position for Wycombe. Go for it in the comments for us, guys. Just give me one number, 1 to 24. Where do you think Ipswich? Oh, he's written Ipswich there and it's put in my head. Wycombe, excuse me. Again, I forgot Ipswich on the brain.
Leave your bites at the door, right, though.
Pathetic. Yeah, look, literally hanging on the door, isn't it? Right, let's get a Wycombe positions. We'll see your reaction to this. Right, try and calculate an average. Someone 6, 4, 8, 3, 5, 11 is a low there. 7, 2, 10, 5, 10, 4, 2, 12, 5, 9, 10, 10, 7, 11, 10, 12, 7. Looks like just outside the playoffs. Yeah.
I got 164 from about 16, so I was counting them as I went on. So I lost it, but I
proper right hand there. You're doing well there. We'll go back and check your maths on that. Very impressive. Right, let's go now on Sheffield Wednesday. Give me a number for Sheffield Wednesday. I'm starting from there. Okay, give me a number. Sheffield Wednesday. Where are the Mighty Owls in terms of their history? Not over recent season. Where is Sheffield Wednesday going to finish? Let's do it. 8th, 2nd, 8, 8, 7. This is lower than I thought. 10, 5, 12, 13, 2, 4, 5, 1, 3, 9, 11. You adding this up, Nappers? 4,
no.
5, exclamation ST. I don't know what that is. 4, 5, 9, 3, 10, 12, 16. 5th, 20th, 5, 6, 2nd. Come on, you can only have one go here. That was very mixed, wasn't it? Very mixed indeed.
It'll either go really right or really wrong. You just know that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to glean from that. Right, everybody pause in the comments. Pronounced O'Sheen. Fingers crossed. Did I get that right? Nearly, didn't I? Actually, No, because like Roisin is that with an R on. Yes, that would make sense.
Aye.
That sounds Irish then, doesn't it? Yeah. Right. Anyway, Rotherham. Give me a number for Rotherham. Where are Rotherham finished? I think we're going to get some single digits on this one, Nappers, aren't we? On Rotherham. Where do you think Rotherham will be finishing? Let's go from here. There we go. 7-3. Oh, God, it jumped down. Sorry, my bad. Right, there we go. First, 6th, 12th, 3rd, 6th, 8th, 6th, 4th. I'll ignore the 24th. 5-1. You only get one go, guys. 6-2-2, 3-4, 4-3-2. I can't keep up. 6-8, 6-8, 6, 9, 2, 9. I'm going playoffs on that one. Do you think?
Yeah, around about near where I put them. I nearly slipped up there.
But we're not going to reveal that. Right, 2 to go. Actually, should we try? No, let's not do it in one. That would confuse me. Right, pause on the comments, especially if you're watching on delay, as someone said they were, because you'll be doing it for the wrong team. Right, Wigan. Where are Wigan and Charlie White finishing? Get your comments in. Go, go, go. Where are Wigan Athletic finishing? One outside the relegation zone last season. Big retooling. Loads of new players in. Let's see what you guys are saying here for Wigan Athletic. 11, 17, 7, 2. 11, 10, 8, 9, 15, 9. A bit lower than the others here. 7, 3, 2, 5, 3. That's a bit higher. 3, 14, 1, 4, 4, 6, 8, 7, 1. God, there's more coming. I'll try and please only vote once. You're clogging it up. God, go away, dear me. Right, there we go. 11, 12, second. Interesting. Right. Let's move on. Finally, we'll get it done. Pause for 1 second. Stop the comments. Charlton. Where are Charlton finishing? And then we'll go on to our Q&A section. Where are Charlton going to be finishing? Here we go. Charlton Athletic. 10, 9, 2, 5, 2, 2, 3. A bit higher for Charlton, actually. 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. Oh, goodness me. 5, 1, 6, 8, 9, 1, 3. I think one guy's put everybody to finish 24th. Bit of a poor understanding of how a league table works then, but there you go. There we go. I think from our straw poll, by the way, get your questions in. We can do some questions now for Nappers. We are in our last segment. Get your questions in now. From what I saw there, people seem to be most confident about Charlton. Is that representative of what we saw or what you think, Nappers?
I think when you look at the teams, I think Wigan retooling job. Rotherham haven't done too much yet in the window. I think Wednesday are kind of like, what are we going to get here? It's like going to the gym on your first day. Like, what is going to change? What's this going to do? You know, Wickham is going to be kind of, are they going to be able to get up to the standards or not? Are they going to be a bit of a disappointment? Will it be kind of a bit like like they've reached the high now and they're just going to go steady in the steady in League One? I think with Charlton, the business has been here. Like, they brought in Femelo and Stockley, successful there on loan last year. A top-class League One goalkeeper in. Dobson in. Didn't really hit it at Sunderland, but again, a decent League One player. So when you look at that, and they brought in Clare, and they've still got a few additions. They've got a good manager. I think that they've put the kind of the fans and the team, Bowyer ran his time and now doing okay at Birmingham, improved them. But I think it's time for a new manager now, and I can see why Charlton are the team to talk about, really.
Absolutely. Right. Let's do questions. We'll try and rattle through and do as many of these as we can. So keep your questions coming in. Try and focus on our dearly departed, but frankly, you can ask us anything for the next 5 minutes. I think we know the answer to that. Are you happy being back in the ground, Nappers?
Well, I made a joke to me, mate. I went and I nearly got hit by a football straight away by one of our players. I wanted to get me back to Hallewell, but tell you what, I watched some of our finishing the other day, and I tell you, I thought one of them is our new star striker, fluffing it wide from 3 yards out in the warm-up. I'm like, oh dear.
Riley, do you think Championship will be played in front of both home and away fans? I'll take that one. I think that's the plan, but a lot of us in the back of our minds are just a little bit worried that we may get possibly one other short period where things might not be what we hope that they're going to be, but we'll see if and when that comes. Hopefully it won't. And look, towards the end of the season, everything will start to feel like it always used to. Jacob C says, Oxford, ? If you want to ask a question about Oxford, feel free, go ahead. But if you put Oxford ? Nice place. Don't like driving there, really. Bit of a rough journey from mine, university there. But a specific question on Oxford, and I'm sure Nappers will answer it. Jody Morris, MK Dons. He seems to keep going to interviews and not getting the jobs. They need the right guy, MK Dons, don't they, Nappers?
Jody Morris, again, a young manager. MK Dons are willing to give out the job to, someone maybe not any experience, but a name that, is respected, maybe a quieter name and, good with bringing players through, which MK Dons, start needing to do. They're not that type of team to compete with the Ipswiches, the Sunderlands, the Charltons, for example. They need to bring their own through. And he would be good at that. And I think if they gave him the time, I think it would be a nice little fit there.
Do you think people are just worried that wherever Lampard pops up next, he'll be off, won't he, and working there? I think sometimes that can be a bit off-putting when an assistant is sort of attached to, especially a big name like Lampard as well. Ben, do you fancy doing an Ipswich prediction? Absolutely not. No. I want Napper's tip for Golden Boot and Golden Glove. Who's going to be the top scorer then, Nappers?
I'm actually thinking about this a lot. And when I look at it, I think possibly, someone like a Joe Pigott, because now he's got the service, he'll have things put on a plate for him more. He doesn't have to drop so deep. So if you can, get the right service into him, I think Joe Pigott in the Golden Glove. I'm staying at Ipswich and, going for Vlad Klapalaki. He was outstanding for something. I think he kept 26 clean sheets last year. Unbelievable signing. And I'm going to say this, I think that's Ipswich's best signing. Because Howley was, not a bad goalkeeper, made mistakes, but he's a very good goalkeeper. And, he's a man-mountain, very good and composed. But, I think you could, suffer, back-to-back, double sweep.
Johnny, as a Borough fan, are you hoping you can get the Coulson deal done? This is another Ipswich question, so I'll take that. Yes, we've got Matt Penny from Sheffield Wednesday, but he doesn't quite seem fit yet. So, yeah, I think Warnock's playing is fun and games, talking it down and then talking it up. So, there you go. Which player excites you this season? You got a one to watch, Ben, a left field one. A name you want to throw at us? Maybe they could play for Oxford and we could link that together.
Oof.
It doesn't have to be Oxford, by the way.
You've put me on the spot, I must admit. But when I look at it, there's been a few, decent little signings when you look at it. I think a couple of the loan players, Dan and El Dudu's gone to Lincoln. Maguire's also gone to Lincoln, which I like. Hakeem Adelican. So Lincoln have, replaced, very well. And then you look at, obviously, the teams that have, come down. Vokes as well.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Vokes, yeah.
It is, very interesting. You wouldn't have thought. I went, what the heck, when I saw that. And I just thought, it's not too bad. And then you kind of look at, your mid-table teams, Doncaster, Geordie Hawula, Gillingham have signed Ollie Lee on a permanent deal, which, I like. So I wouldn't want to say one, but if I'd go for Sam Vokes, because I was surprised with him. and Wickham. I thought maybe lower end champion, maybe someone like a Preston or a Huddersfield or a Blackpool or somewhere like that.
Who do you reckon will be the most under pressure manager? I don't want to make this pure Ipswich, but surely if Paul Cook is outside of the top 10 any point after about game number 6, after the spend there, the pressure's going to pile on, and anyone who manages Sunderland as well is always immediately under pressure. So I think it's going to be the big boys in this one. How many pints will Nappers sink on Friday the 13th of August before Lincoln away?
To be fair, mate, I'm going to need me alcohol watching us this season. It's going to be painful.
Lincoln are very good as well, aren't they?
Oh, they are looking good. I tell you, they have lost some good, the better players, George Grant, Brennan Johnson, those types of players. But they have, replaced very well, which he messaged me straight away. I got a little bite from a prediction, but I know he's seen it. But like I say,
he loves it. He loves it. Vokes or Paisley, one word answer.
Vokes.
There you go. Jacob's back. Thoughts on Oxford? How are they going to do? Playoffs twice now in a row, and always get pilfered for their best players at the end of every season as well, don't they, Oxford?
Rob Atkinson's gone, hasn't he? He's gone to Bristol City. Obviously, I knew he'd left, but I never knew he went until I obviously watched your table prediction. Quick plug, go and give it a watch.
Thank you.
Go and give Ben a watch. No, but again, they brought us some good players. Billy Bowden, which is I like. Ryan Williams as well. So, they signed quite well. I think they've signed a couple of defenders since as well. But
why do they go on these, Ben? Why does their points go like flat and then at the end of the season every time?
I think it is a huge the turnover they had. They lose the kind of the loan. Like they've lost Shadupa, which I know might not seem a lot, but again, they're bringing in the loan players, and again, they've not brought as many in yet. They will do, at the end of August, which Carl Robinson normally wheels and deals. But they're always that team that gets, like I say, better as you go along, which I think could maybe haunt Oxford this year. I think there are a better team than them, but I think defensively they're going to have to be a lot better this year if they're going to go up.
Another big club is Bolton. We got Bolton back. How do you see them going?
Well, I got stick for in my video. I did
That's not like you.
One player that I did from best signing, it was Bolton fans on me, and I put Dixon. For me, I think he is their best signing because last year they struggled for a goalkeeper. They had Billy Crellin in goal, who was terrible for them, and they had Jukes, who's nearing 40 years of age, who isn't League One quality in my opinion anymore. Better as a kind of a coach or a number 2, and I thought it was a very good piece of business. But they've still got a very good. That shows you how good the business has been. Josh Sheehan, 20 goals. Bakayoko, as the Coventry faithful will tell us about. They've kept, I think it's Ricardo Santos at the back. Gethin Jones has stayed. So they've got a good core. They've brought some players in. They've added to what they've got, and I like that.
Yeah. Ben's happy when Nappers said Joe Pigott. Do you know, the only thing I was thinking when you said about Joe Pigott was sometimes when you take a player and they're the main guy in a smaller team and everything goes through them, and then they come in and there's going to be plenty. Well, honestly, at the moment, and we think it's going to be, if it is a 4-2-3-1, him or Macaulay Bonne, maybe not both of them in the same. That feels like squeezing in all the best players rather than finding the best solution with 11 players. We all know the best 11 players doesn't always make the best team, does it?
Like you in the Euros, you said, you wouldn't be surprised if, these teams with a better organisation beat. And that's what France did in the Euros. They just tried to get all, like they played fancy football. They just tried to get in the flair players who can score goals. When you have like Italy, halfway through all through the Euros, they didn't have the flair. They had good players, didn't have flair players. They just had a solid team, and that's what won them. And good teams, solid teams win you games. Defenses win games as well.
Defenses win tournaments. Oh yes,
absolutely.
Mike's asking about Isa. It's so hard to say. If you'd have asked me a week ago when Russ Martin was there, and I'm expecting them to have 15 penalty box entrances per game and 80 5% pass completion and 65% possession, you'd think, oh, Isa will get 20 goals. But honestly, I'm a bit miffed if I'm Isa. I've just signed, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't sign for whoever's coming in. So a lot just depends on which manager comes in there, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think if you're the chairman, you have to sit down with your more experienced players. You know, Dean Lewington's been there 18 years
Legend.
now.
He needs to get a mention every show. I want Coppinger and Lewington mentioned every show.
Even though Coppington's retired now, but
no,
I know, but I do think they just need to get the old kind of the players' thoughts. Who would they like? But a Jody Morris type of player would suit at that football club.
Let's go to that one. Sorry, it gets very Ipswich very quickly, doesn't it? But Ted Bishop to Lincoln, I really, really want him to do well because he broke into Ipswich in 14-15 when Ipswich finished in the playoffs in the Championship. And God, 14-15, so he must have been about like 18 or something then. And he genuinely, we thought, oh, if Ipswich keep functioning in that end of the table and he plays 30 games every season, he'll be a £5-10 million player. Ipswich didn't function in those areas. He kept getting injured. He's a really good player. He needs an entire season of football, but I'm kind of glad he's gone to Lincoln because I think Michael Appleton will sort of look after him and play the right way in the same way he looked after George Grant and Brennan Johnson. And, you know, they're going to be Championship, or Johnson might even be even higher if you believe any of the rumours going on. You want to talk about Pompey quickly, Nappers?
I've been very harsh on Portsmouth because, like last year, I was harsh on Ipswich. I expect better of them. I think they've got a good manager now who's capable, who's, you know, if it doesn't this time, it'll be next time. But they have brought in some decent players. You know, Gaston Ademi scored like 8 goals in pre-season. Kieran Freeman, you know, decent bit of business. You know, they've kept Ronan Curtis, the Cowleys get the better of him. So I think they'll be just fine. They brought in Gavin Banzanu, who was on loan at Rochdale last year. So, you know, they're doing the business now. They're bringing in Conor Oldrive who's been at Gillingham. So they're bringing in those players that have thrived at League One level before. And like I say, it's not a flair team like it used to be, but it's a solid team. And like we just mentioned, they could do well.
Outstanding stuff. Right. I think that should just about do us for today. This is our first show of the season. We're going to try and go weekly. So if you want to give us a bit of feedback, let us know what day you might like this show to land on. We're in between thinking sort of Wednesday, Thursday, where you're not too affected by a 3-game week. If it happens. So let us know what day you want this to land. Now, my channel is a Championship channel. This is one League One show. So if you are supporting a League One team, Nappers, hit them with it. Hit them with the plug because you can get what you get down my channel for the Championship down this man's channel. So do you want to give it a plug?
Absolutely. And again, I am a League One channel now. I am still named as Cod Vlogs because it's authentic and it might change during the season. I'm still thinking about that, but I do League One, you know, predictions, reactions, you know, give me thoughts on the bigger event, you know, like table prediction, and I do kind of your top 10s, you know, my opinion, best play from each club or best signing from each club, and I'll have a route round each club as well. So if you can give me a subscription, it's free to do. It'll be really helpful. I am going for an ambitious target of 10,000 subscribers now, and go big or go home. But again, any help would be appreciated as the new season starts on Saturday.
100%. So go and give Nappers a subscribe. And if you're new around here, you need to subscribe to me as well. There we go.
Absolutely.
18,300 Nappers. We are going great guns.
Get to 20. Get to 20, guys. Get him subscribed.
I want us to land on 10 and 20 on the same day. That would be tremendous, wouldn't it?
I think I've got a bit of work to do to catch up.
No. You'll get. You'll get there, my friend. You will absolutely get there. So, look, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. What do the comments say? Wednesdays, Fridays, Thursdays. Inconclusive, let's just say, the comments. Two class Bens. This is getting a bit annoying now, though, isn't it? Because I did a show with, do you know Ben HD, the Preston?
Yeah.
Everyone's called Ben. It gets boring, doesn't it?
It is, but it's a class name, you know. only YouTubers and legends called Ben.
That's tremendous. What a moment to finish on. There you go. Give us both a follow on Twitter. And when we've figured out what day we're going to do, we'll see you next week. And one more thing. Oh, hang on. We got Super Chat. David, thank you very, very much. Very, very kind. £5 Super Chat. And can I drink to him? Yeah, that one's got some in. Really quickly, full disclosure. My missus is so pregnant, it's not true. You couldn't be more pregnant. So I may be missing for a short period at some time soon. So if we miss a week, that'll be why. And then the next stream we do, you'll hear a beautiful screaming baby, a ball of life in there. So imminently about to happen. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Dearly Departed, the League One edition. And when we figured out what the hell day we're doing, we're going to be here weekly, and we look forward to seeing you then. Say goodbye, Nappers.
Thank you very much, Ben, and thank you for watching, guys. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.